So, Super Mario 3D World is a game I've been playing a lot recently, and that's because of the Switch 2. Now, the Switch 2 obviously just came out. I think I'm going to make a follow-up video, just because the one I made kind of sucked, and I think I have more refined opinions. And I've essentially been treating my Switch 2 like a Switch Pro, going back and seeing how a lot of these games run on better hardware, and treating it like that, I'm having a really good time. I haven't really been playing a lot of Switch 2 games. The only three I guess the only three I own are Yakuza, Cyberpunk, and Mario Kart. I'm already bored of Mario Kart, and I've already beaten Yakuza and Cyberpunk previously just on other consoles. So I'm sort of just treating this thing like another Switch. And one of the games that I decided to check out for the first time on the Switch 2 is 3D Land, or World. Fuck. I always do that. Also, the gameplay you're going to be seeing is late game. These are just the special stages, so I'm trying to get all the stars and stuff like that. I'm kind of fucking around, so if you see me failing at very easy puzzles like this one, that is why. This game plays from like 3 in the morning. I just was not feeling good. But anyways, yeah, let's talk about it. So, I never played this game. This era of Nintendo is very unfamiliar to me and is actually sort of the reason why I didn't like Nintendo for the longest time. And okay, people are gonna get mad. I still kind of don't. But this era of Nintendo, it sucks. You know, like there's just nothing here, right? Like I grew up with Galaxy and then got a 360, and from across the pond, I would see people playing Wii U, and seeing games like this just looked so soulless, so fucking just boring, like nothing here. And my opinions on that haven't changed after beating the game. I'm currently going for the 100% because at this, at its core, this game is fun. It's a good time. It is not worth $60. And to be clear, I have not played Bowser's Fury yet. I'm waiting to 100% this before I touch Bowser's Fury. I think I have 2 more special stages. So it's taken me a while because this game really gets fucking boring about halfway through. Just because it's kind of the same shit over and over again, and there really isn't that, like, my issue with Mario for the longest time, and I think this is a me thing. I don't think a lot of people care about this, but the issue with Mario, even since when I was a kid, for me, was just this lack of character. Now, obviously, when it comes to the world and like the music and stuff like that, it's so charming and cute. But like Mario as a character, and a lot of just the main characters like Bowser and stuff like that have zero personality. Like there's just nothing there. I always compare him to like Mickey Mouse. And I know a lot of people love Mickey Mouse, so I know that this is just a me thing, right? But it's just like I have a really hard time connecting and grasping onto these characters. Despite these characters or these games at their core being really fun. Obviously, there are exceptions to this. I love Mario Odyssey. I love Mario Galaxy. Like, Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games of all time. And I think that's because that's one of the rare exceptions to where the game really does have a lot of character. And I think the perfect example of this is Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. I played it for the first time on the remake when it came out on the Switch, and I was just blown away. I was so shocked by how cool and charming and interesting the Mario world could be when given the opportunity, because in games like this, which this is almost the antithesis of what I'm getting at, I think New Super Mario Bros. is maybe more so in that direction, where there is just nothing here. Like, yes, the games are fun, they're built well, you're not really glitching a whole lot or anything like that. At its core, they're like a decent, just good time, but there's just nothing really there. Like, there's just no personality to grasp onto, which I think for me really matters. When I was playing this game, I was about halfway through, and I was just thinking of like the Wii U era and the 3DS era, and sort of that era of Mario that I missed out on. Because like I mentioned, I loved Mario Galaxy when I was a kid, but I got a 360, started playing like Call of Duty and stuff like that, and I would look over at people that had a 3DS or a Wii U, and there was just nothing there that I cared about. Because when I would look over at these Mario games, it's like, what is there to give a shit about? And I look at Galaxy, there's this just a beautiful orchestrated score. Like Bowser's boss theme in Galaxy is like, I still get taken aback by it. It's just like this epic, like daunting, just super awesome, like orchestral like choir theme. It's just so fucking cool, and the level themes are all unique, and for the time, characters like Rosalina were so cool. And then you see basically 3D World, which is just, I mean, a lot of people don't say this. I don't know if it's just like an opinion that I'm having, but this really isn't all that different from the complaints that people have with New Super Mario Bros. I think the only difference is that it's 3D, which does help it in a lot of ways, but it is still just that super basic, super boring, no really new ideas Mario that I think is the reason why a lot of people didn't care about the Wii U, didn't care about the 3DS. I think that's sort of my issue with this game at its core, is because when I'm playing this, I'm like, I'm having a good time, but there's just something there that is just not making me give a shit. And I think what it is the lack of character. Now, that isn't to say there isn't any character. The music in this game is phenomenal. I was talking to a friend about it, and I was like, the soundtrack is like wasted on this game. Like such a meh game, but just such a beautiful soundtrack. And I think there's a lot of other things like that as well. And I think is sort of what I'm getting at. I'm sort of going on a tangent here, but whatever. Just to talk about the actual game, it's a good time. I think $60. This game is kind of crazy, and like I said, or did I say this? I don't remember. It's my second time recording this because I fucked up my audio the first time. I haven't played Bowser's Fury yet. I'm waiting until I 100% the main game before I jump into that. But I don't know. This game sort of just reminded me of the reason why I just haven't cared about Mario, but also Nintendo for such a long time. I love the Switch, and I actually really like the Switch 2 from a hardware perspective. I like that I can play a lot of these games on the go now. I'm not even going to touch the whole Steam Deck debate. If the Switch 2 didn't come out, I probably would have actually gotten a Steam Deck at some point, or the Steam Deck 2, whenever that gets announced or comes out. But I love playing games like Cyberpunk. Right now I'm playing Ni no Kuni. I love playing Yakuza. I love playing these games just like in bed, doing like side quests and stuff like that. That's what I love the Switch for. And the Nintendo games are almost just like a bonus for me. And for the longest time, you know, there has just been like a lack of character. I think Nintendo for a long time was carried by, you know, the chart. Like they didn't have to have the best graphics. They didn't need to have all these, you know, you could disregard all the awful quality of life issues that Nintendo platforms have had forever, just because there was so much character and so much charm behind the company and the games. But I feel like, especially in the Switch 2 era, like a lot of people talk about how there's no themes and how the Switch just looks super fucking boring. And this game is sort of like that as well. Like there is just so little here that makes me want to care about it. And I feel like I'm going in circles and going on a tangent here, but that really is just what I've been thinking about the whole time I've been playing this game. And I meant to mention this earlier, but I was playing this game. I was about like halfway through it, and I was like, you know, why as a kid did I gravitate towards something like Sonic? Because obviously, Sonic, compared to these games, even to this game, which I'm saying is very boring, this game is way better. So like, why as a kid did I gravitate that way? Because I remember as a kid playing Sonic on the Black Knight and Secret Rings and Unleashed, these games which I don't even like. I know the Unleashed one's gonna make people mad, but I don't like these games now. But as a kid, I loved it. I was like, I think that's just because those games were like, yeah, they're not great games, and I was a kid and I didn't really have the best grasp on what made a good game or not. But what I did know is what was fucking cool. And with Sonic, and not even with, comparing Sonic and Mario is so stupid at this point. But like, you could talk about a litany of other games. Like I think Mega Man also has this, right? Where it's like they're just fucking cool, bro. Like Sonic with a sword, that's fucking cool. The opening cutscene where he's flipping the fucking the chili dog, and then in one clean sweep just destroys a whole thing of enemies, right? Like that's fucking cool. I would load up Unleashed just to watch that cutscene and be like, this has changed my life. but Nintendo, in a lot of ways, and especially with this game, which is sort of what I'm trying to get at here, just lacks that completely. But I've been going on for 10 minutes now, going in circles. But I guess just to talk about the actual game here, I like it. I don't like the graphics. Like I think the outline that all the characters have, like the rim lighting, makes everything look very plastic and low quality. I don't know. Like, and I think it makes it even more clear now that I'm playing this on the Switch 2 in like crystal clear quality, and you can really see all of the imperfections. Not that there are like crazy imperfections or anything like that, but there's just something about the graphics that look very like plasticky to me when comparing it to obviously something like Odyssey, but even games that came before it like Galaxy, like Sunshine, and stuff like that. I also just never, like, so I'm like 15 hours into this game. I'm trying to 100% it. I have a grasp on how the game plays. Dude, holy shit, I suck. I just ate shit there. The camera angle in this game and the perspective has never worked for me. Like, I am struggling even tens of hours into this game to get a grasp on where the fuck I'm gonna land when I jump. And I think a lot of games solve this by having like a little marker under the character. Now, obviously, Mario has a shadow, which helps a lot, but sometimes the shadow is invisible. Sometimes the shadow isn't, you know, really in the best spot to help me tell me where I'm gonna land. And I think if it had like a little like icon or something, like, so for example, this is actually a perfect example because it's relevant. There's a new Super Meat Boy game coming out, and it's sort of in this, you know, 3D, you know, pseudo 2D 3D style that this game is in as well, right? This very linear 3D format. And under Meat Boy is this little cursor that you know, illustrates this is where your character is. And if this game had that, it would make it so much easier and feel so much better to control. Like, there are so many times when I would just be walking, and it's not even like a platforming challenge. I would just jump and go like diagonal and just go off the stage. And I don't think, I mean, this is a quick Google. I could Google this. I'm not going to, though. This game feels like it only has 8 directions of movement. I don't know if it does or not, but like, I don't know, dude. Those two things combined just make this game sometimes feel very frustrating, and I don't know. I feel like I don't really have too much to say. I feel like I spent the first like 10 minutes just talking about the aesthetic because that sort of is the antithesis of this game. Like, there is just nothing to grab onto. Like, it's a decent game, and that's really the most you can say about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm glad I got through it. I do plan on playing Bowser's Fury. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've played like 20 minutes of it or so, but yeah, that's gonna be it.